Wake up, you will die. You are asleep, dreaming a life, but not living it. I want to shake you up from your sleep and shout into your ears that you are going to die. You are only really alive after you wake up. And then, when you are awake, I want to whisper into your ears that you will live forever. Until you are sleeping, you are doomed to death. After you wake up from the sleep of the ego, you will live forever. You know that you are going to die, and you are afraid of it. So you try to forget about death and deny it. You deny it in every possible way and erase it from your everyday life. But the fear of death keeps working even harder in your subconscious mind. You subconsciously avoid dangerous situations, stay in your comfort zone, and search for security. You repress your emotions and hold back your love for others because you are afraid of losing them. The fear of death causes a fear of life. You are afraid to live the present moment in its totality because then you will be reminded of death. By avoiding death, you avoid life too. By denying death, you deny life as well. By imagining that you will never die, you are devaluing life. By devaluing life, you are wasting it. You don't live the life you really want to live. You settle for a life you are able to live, given your circumstances. You are too afraid to step out of your comfort zone because of the fear of death. You are not motivated enough to do what you really want to do because of the denial of death. Instead, you are living a dead life based on fear and comfort. Outside, you seem to be living, but inside, you are dead. I want to transform you as deeply as possible and give your eyes back to see value in life again. I want to open your eyes to the truth that you cannot see in your sleep. I want to transform you from a living dead through living death to a real living being. So the first thing is to realize the many ways you deny death. Realize the illusion you are living in and how you are cheating yourself. The most important is to face death and stop denying it. In the face of death, your life wins back its value and its meaning. By remembering death, you will also remember that each moment is valuable and every action is significant. Being aware of death, you can also become aware of yourself and start to live an authentic life. A life you really want to live, and not one controlled by fear and dead routine. If you face death, the fear of death will disappear, and with it, the fear of life too. Facing death frees you from all of your fears and gives you the courage to finally be yourself. Facing the knowledge of death is good to wake you up, but it is not enough to give you the ultimate truth. You have to experience death for yourself to realize that it is only an illusion, not physically, but psychologically. You have to die to defeat death. Die before you die to truly live. When the ego dies, death dies with it. After this experience, you will know without any doubt that you will never really die. The power of death not only gives you a more meaningful, authentic, and valuable life, but can be the ultimate step on your spiritual path too. You live as if you were immortal, but deep down you know that your days are counted. Instead, I want you to live every day as if that was the last one, but deep down know that you are immortal. Facing death can lead to the most radical personal transformation possible, and experiencing it can be the most direct path to spiritual enlightenment. Contemplating death is the most important spiritual practice of immortology. The idea of facing or remembering your death dates back to centuries, but it was forgotten in modern times. Memento mori is a Latin expression which means remember death. Specific paintings, sculptures, and jewelry were made with the intention to remind you of your own or your loved one's demise. This trend then declined, perhaps because it was considered too bizarre or morbid. Memento mori in immortology means much more than just looking at pictures depicting death. Facing death means experiencing psychological death in the body. The body does not die, only the entity, which is called a person, that is living inside the body. It means facing, accepting, and remembering that you are going to die. The experience will tend to be shocking at first, but the intensity of the feeling will decline as acceptance grows. Facing death means making your mind believe that you are going to die right now, without putting yourself in real physical danger. Death awareness in immortology is like zazen in Zen, vipassana in Buddhism, or praying in Christianity. If you do it right, you do not need to practice anything else besides it. It can become the universal key to unlock every door on your spiritual path. What are these doors that every spiritual tradition states are essential? One of them is to be yourself. Being yourself means being your real self, being authentic and not wearing a mask in society. It also means realizing your own dreams and not letting yourself being abused to create someone else's dream. The other door is to be in the here and now. The present moment is the only reality. Everything else is only in your mind. By living in your mind, you are creating an illusory life, along with pain and suffering. In the here and now, there is no mind, hence no pain, suffering, or problems. You can only experience yourself and reality in the present moment. Another essential thing on the spiritual path is to drop your ego. In fact, it is not a real act. It is only a happening. You cannot drop your own ego because you are the ego now. By trying to drop your ego, you are only strengthening it. This is a delicate issue, but maybe the most important of them all. Love and compassion are also mentioned by almost every tradition as essential spiritual values. But you cannot force yourself to be loving and compassionate because it will be fake and superficial. The same goes with gratitude. They say being grateful is necessary, but how can you be grateful when you see only problems and misery in life? How can you appreciate life when you hate living? One universal door in spirituality is to be detached. Your mind has a tendency to attach to external or even internal things. This creates a dependency and a desire to acquire or keep these things. When the desire is not fulfilled, you feel frustrated and miserable. Therefore, to avoid suffering, detachment is needed. Or in other words, you have to be in a state of let go. The other end of the equation is acceptance. Acceptance means being okay with whatever happens in your life. Your mind wants the status quo, but life is a constant flux. You have to accept whatever is coming to your life and let go of whatever is leaving it. To sum up, there are 7 essential spiritual doors. Be yourself, be in the moment, drop your ego, be loving, be grateful, be detached, and be accepting. The catch is that they have to be true at the same time. For example, if you try to force yourself to love your enemy when in fact you hate him, the criteria of being yourself does not get fulfilled. Hence, your love will be superficial, and deep down you would like to kill your enemy in the next moment. However, if you manage to enter these 7 doors at the same time, you will reach the ultimate goal: happiness. Being happy is actually not a big thing. It is the simple, natural state of every human being, animal and plant. But only humans manage to be unnatural, thus unhappy. Humans are the only beings who are conscious of their own mortality. Every being has inherent survival instincts, but the fear of death gives the human mind an impossible task: to guarantee its survival while it is guaranteed to die. Therefore, the mind suppresses the thought of death while creating negative tendencies. These negative tendencies, like attachment, selfishness, pretending, living in the past or the future, are the tools of the mind to guarantee our survival. While the mind perfectly knows its unavoidable demise deep down, it is still fighting because it is filled with hope. When we kill hope, we kill the fighting with it, we kill the mind with it, and we kill our ego with it. Heaven is made of hope, while hell is made of fear. The essential hope behind all hopes is that we will live even after death. Certainly, we hope to experience all those things in heaven that we were missing in life. Everybody's heaven is unique, according to his unfulfilled desires. At the same time, we would not like to experience endless suffering. Then even death is better. Hope and fear are the two sides of the same coin. If you want to get rid of fear, you have to get rid of hope too. A hopeless person is a fearless person. But to be effective, you have to go to the roots of fear and hope. You have to eradicate the fear of death and the hope for eternal life. Therefore, the path to happiness is not of creation, but of destruction. You have to kill hope and fear and cross all the 7 doors to get back to your natural state and be happy. I want to take away from you everything that you are not and give back yourself to yourself. The problem is that you see hope as a positive thing. In fact, suppressing death and hoping for better is the trick of the mind to keep you alive and going. This gives you motivation. Otherwise, your life would seem meaningless. Your mind needs hope, motivation, and meaning. Without it, it would just simply stop and disappear. Your ego is like a shark in the water. If it does not move, it dies. For your mind, moving means thinking. When you are thinking, you cannot be in the present moment. You cannot divide your attention between thinking and sensing. To be in the here and now, you have to be in a state of no mind. Therefore, being hopeless and fearless kills the mind, because it does not have to think about the future. But losing hope and fear and crossing the 7 doors seem to be easier said than done. Pretending is not enough here. You need a real transformation. There is a secret universal key that will unlock all these doors and make you hopeless and fearless at the same time. The secret key to your life and to real happiness is facing death. Let me show you step by step why this method works for each door. If you do it right, you will cross all the doors simultaneously in one moment. First of all, be perfectly sure that you are going to die and live like there is no tomorrow. In fact, not even a single moment is left from this present moment. If on the back of your mind you are still hoping that there is life after death, you won't be determined enough to live life fully now. Hope takes you to the future and takes away your present. The truth is that there is life after death. But there is a big difference between hoping and knowing. Hope won't save you from misery and won't transform your life. Only by knowing death will you know and be perfectly sure that you won't die with your body. But hope only stands in your way of experiencing this experience. When all your hopes disappear in the face of death, the fear of death will also disappear with it. As I said, hope and fear are intrinsically connected. In the face of death, you cannot help but be yourself. There is no more time for playing around, no more time for trying to be somebody you are not. You simply accept yourself as you are, whether you consider yourself good or bad. Good or bad does not matter anymore. You automatically connect with your real or higher self, your individuality. Death can see all your bogus personalities, and you have to stand before him completely naked. You cannot lie to yourself in your last moment, even if your complete life so far has been a lie. In the face of death, you will be reminded of all those unfulfilled dreams you never dared to accomplish. Those dreams that you would want to fulfill even if nobody knew about them. Those dreams are really yours. They are coming deep down from your higher self. In the face of death, you will truly experience the here and now. your body and mind will be in a shock because they will sense danger. If even a flicker of thought appears in your mind, you could be dead in the next moment. Death awareness instantly snaps you back to the present moment. All your senses become sharp and your body ready to fight or flight. You become aware of your surroundings, your body, and yourself. Certainly, the fight or flight reaction will become less intense as you practice more and more, because there is no physical danger after all. The past and future disappear, so you can see the truth of the present moment. Time does not stop. It completely disappears, and you get into a timeless state. And when time disappears, space also disappears with it, because they are also intrinsically connected. In the face of death, there is a high chance of dropping your ego. Your mind and body were fighting for your survival all of your life. But in your last moment, you realize that eventually death wins every time. Your ego was fed by fighting for survival, and now it is standing there defeated without any hope. Right at this moment, your ego may admit that it is weak and useless. It may commit suicide and give way to something that is bigger than itself. When this happens, you may feel as if you have melted into everything. Space disappears, everything becomes you, and suddenly you become everything. This oceanic feeling is the goal of yoga, which itself means union. You can have this experience instantly if you are ready to face death. In the face of death, you automatically feel love and compassion for every living being. When you can totally accept your death, you will also totally accept yourself. Total acceptance means unconditional love. If you can totally accept yourself as you are, without any conditions, you will automatically feel the same for everybody else too. Besides, you can also remind yourself that everybody else will die as well. This reminder will serve as a tool to be loving and compassionate. This does not mean forcing love. It will come on its own. It only means reminding yourself of a fundamental fact of life. In your last moment, you realize that only love gives real meaning to life. In the face of death, you will feel grateful for every moment of your life. No matter what kind of misery you were living in, when you are faced with the ultimate moment, you would like more of it. If you could just hug your loved ones one more time, if you could just take another walk on the beach, you would do anything for just one more moment. What you do not realize now is that every moment could be the last. So, you should feel gratitude in every moment of your life. Death awareness helps you to be immensely grateful. In fact, you cannot really appreciate life without death. Death gives depth to life. It makes life an adventure. If you are too much afraid of death, you will be afraid to live too. And when you are afraid to live totally, you will be even more afraid to die, because you haven't really lived yet. It is a vicious cycle that you can break only by facing death. As life and death are interconnected, so are the fear of death and the fear of life. When you lose the fear of life, you stop living half-heartedly. You will be total in your actions because you know they could be the last ones. You stop hesitating and procrastinating, and you will have the courage to make those important decisions you should have taken long ago. Value is created when there is a shortage of something desirable. But you try to make yourself believe that you will live forever, and you have an infinite amount of time at your disposal. The problem is that you think you have time. But in the face of death, you suddenly have no more time. Life seems now painfully short and infinitely valuable. Death gives real value to your life. You can get to know life only after you got to know death. Before this moment comes, you will have only guesses and imaginations about the subject. These are worse than nothing. Be brave and dare to admit that you do not know life and death. Only then can you become an authentic seeker and get to know them for yourself. but knowing will be a completely different matter than thinking. You will know then that you will really live forever, and death only happens to your body and mind, but you are neither of them. In the face of death, you will become detached from your body and mind and the whole external world. This includes your home, your car, your bank account, and even your friends and family. You have to leave everything behind. You can take nothing with you after death, but you are going to exist even after death, and this entity is what really matters. If you are attached to anything else that is not yourself, you will feel suffering because you are going to lose it. Non-attachment is an important spiritual attitude, and the easiest method to reach it is to remind yourself that you are going to lose everything anyway. You don't own anything or anybody, not even your own body. You just got it as a present until a certain amount of time, to enjoy it, experience it, and then let it go. Everything stays with you until it serves you and not longer. Even if you lose something you love, it is because something even better is coming. In the face of death, you will only be successful if you become totally accepting of the situation. By successful, I mean you can get to know and transcend death. Transcending means that you realize that death is an illusion. There is only life and nothing else. It is even redundant to call it life, because only life exists and nothing else. And you are this life, and I am this life, and everybody and everything is this life. If you remind yourself of death, you accept every situation in your life because you will know that they do not really matter. You welcome anything that appears in your life, and you let go of anything that disappears from it. After all, they are just part of your dream, but the only real thing is the dreamer. But in everyday life, you forget about the dreamer and get tangled up in the dream. Facing death helps you awaken from the dream and realize yourself. If you truly understand that only change is constant, non-attachment will come easily. It is the door to truly accepting death and letting go of your ego. The ego keeps itself alive by getting attached to objects, people, situations, experiences, memories, projections, and ideas. The ego creates borders around life, around you. It cannot accept infinity, so it defines itself with more concrete things. These attachments define the ego, and if you are living through your ego, these attachments define you. If you let go of these identifications, you suddenly wouldn't know who you are. So, the ego is really afraid of non-attachment because it ultimately means its death. But if you truly understand that everything is changing in life, then non-attachment comes naturally to you. How could you keep something in your life forever when the nature of everything is change? Instead of feeling lost time and time again, I advise you to lose yourself altogether at once. Losing yourself is the only way of finding yourself. When you lose someone or something important to you, you almost feel like you lost a part of yourself. In fact, you really lost a part of your ego, and it feels wounded. The essential problem is not loss, it is attachment. It is a huge ignorance in life to identify yourself with something that you know is going to die. But still, you identify yourself with your body, with your emotions, or with your mind. You identify yourself as a father or a mother, as a child, as a worker, as being poor or being rich, as being a good person, and as 1,000 other things. Disidentify yourself from all of these ideas, but pay attention. I don't say deny them. Denial would only mean that you repress attachment even deeper to the subconscious, and non-attachment would be even more difficult. Just see and understand the natural reality of things. Accept that anything that is currently in your life will ultimately disappear. Exactly because of this, value them even more. Enjoy them immensely until they are there. Just don't get attached to them. You have to learn the art of love without attachment, loving somebody without need. When the source of love is need, then you are bound to get attached to the subject of your love. But when the source of love is an overflowing of happiness, your love does not have any object. In fact, you yourself become love. Real love is not selective. Whoever and whatever is in your life receives from it. Even though you love even more, you don't get attached to the objects of love. You also have to learn the art of acceptance and letting go. Whatever comes in your life, accept it. And whatever leaves your life, accept it too. Acceptance is positive, letting go is negative, but they are the two sides of the same coin. If you learn acceptance, you learn letting go at the same time. The greatest achievement in life is to let go of your ego and accept death. Besides denial, the other fake type of non-attachment is indifference. Indifference is not non-attachment. Indifference makes you neutral. It prevents you from feeling your emotions and takes you away from life. You can even get depressed. Instead, non-attachment brings you closer to life, closer to yourself, and makes you feel your emotions more intensively. It lets you go even deeper in life. It shows you its value and sacredness. Indifference says, life is meaningless and valueless because it ends. Non-attachment says, life is meaningful and valuable exactly because it ends. Practice non-attachment in your life whenever you have the possibility.